After going through this blog post, I'm way less worried about the water than I was before. And the reason for that is because there are so many buildings that you can go into and go on the rooftops of that you're not gonna find people in water very often at all. And there's not really an incentive to be in the water. For ad-free episodes, as well as early access and bonus episodes, check out our Patreon. Free trials are available. Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 334. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I'm joined by young Tanner Dropshot. How's it going, buddy? Good. Good?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
And today, we're doing an episode. We're doing a news episode. Today is Tuesday. Normally, we do these on Thursday, but because Tanner is going once again to Zion National Park, we've had to butcher our schedule for the week. And part of that is us doing this episode on Tuesday. We were worried that because, patches and things usually come on Thursdays, and again, this week that will be the case, Season 4 releasing Thursday, along with the patch notes for Season 4, we were worried that there was not going to be anything really to talk about in the world of patches and news relating to changes to the game. I am very pleased to report we were quite wrong about that. Quite fucking wrong. And there's a lot to talk about. So that's really good. We got pretty lucky there. So today, this is going to be very similar to the podcast we would be doing Thursday if we were doing it Thursday. The only difference is we don't have actual patch notes. Now, as a reminder, we will, on our Saturday episode, be going over the patch notes in a level of detail. We're going to go a little faster than we normally would on Saturday's episode, but we're going to hit all the important things. So any big changes we're going to talk about, provided, of course, we haven't already talked about them in this episode. So keep that in mind. Now, with all of that said, oh, you know what? I wonder if I could link Kick to... Oh, yeah. I wonder if I could link Kick to Slobs, and then I could see alerts that way. I'm going to write that down. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, we did get a gifted on Kick, and it didn't even show up in the Kick chat for me either, so the website is just absolutely terrible.
Really?
So thanks, Jakin, for the gifted sub. So
how did you see it?
The noti. I had to go to, the activity feed on Kick itself.
Yeah, that's miserable dog shit so and trash. J-Kid, thanks for the gifted sub, dude. We appreciate that for testing that little sucker out. It didn't work, but now we know that, so we appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. You're a king. All right, so yeah, with that said, we got a couple announcements first, and then we have a lot of shit to talk about today. Very excited. Some leaks, some official news, some unofficial news. It's going to get wild and slippery and crazy. First and foremost, though, welcome to our new gold patrons. Vengeance V1, Big Log 99, Scott, and Aaron O. Welcome, boys. Aaron has not changed his government name yet. Get on that. But welcome aboard the absolute Patreon at the gold.
By the way, somebody
much appreciated.
Said that is a pretty common way to spell it.
It's not.
I mean, maybe. I honestly don't think I've ever met anyone
that person's lying
that has spelled it that way. But I looked it up and I did find a lot of names that actually are spelled that way. So weird. It looks weird. I don't know. So does 2 A's, I guess. It all looks weird.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and it looks weird to me, so change your government name, obviously. And welcome aboard, buddy. Thank you very much. Also, more importantly than you pieces of shit, welcome to our new platinum patron, Julius N. Absolute God and King. Julius, welcome aboard. Looks like you made a fucking oopsie whoopsie, and you canceled already. But it was too late, because you didn't cancel during the free trial period. So get fucked and get scammed and enjoy this month of a platinum patronage. Much appreciated. Julius, also, more importantly than you, piece of shit, welcome to our new Damascus patron, Mike L., an absolute God, King, and Chad. Mike, welcome aboard, brother. We also got a new annual gold patron, saving that money, getting a discount of an amount, don't know what amount. Chris S., welcome, buddy. For a new year, a brand new whole ass year of gold patronage, ad-free, early access, and bonus eps. Chris, smart, wise investment, and welcome aboard, King. We very much appreciate you. And last, and certainly not least, welcome to our new annual Damascus patron, where your discount's going to go the longest by going annual at the Damascus tier, of course. Edgy, the tech support goblin in our Discord, has finally decided to join the big boys in the Damascus Lounge. And by the way,
he was held at gunpoint.
We have renamed our Damascus chat in Discord to the Damascus Lounge. So it's cozy. We should have raised the price of the tier, frankly, to coincide with this, because you went from being in a chat room to being in a lounge, right? So we should have raised the price, but we didn't, because we're kind and generous people. So now more than ever, it's an absolute fucking steal to go Damascus. And Edgy did that. Welcome, buddy. Thank you very much. What were you going to say?
I was just say, we have like an actual tech support guy now. Like, we've had other people that have always been good, and they've like provided pretty good intel through Google searches. But Edgy's like an actual tech support fucking nerd. Like, he knows everything. It's actually pretty wild. So if you guys have any sort of tech support issues, post in there, and he'll probably post back on how to fix it or something. He knows a lot of shit.
Shout out to Edgy, man. Yeah, that's great to have. My benchmark for a good tech support person is if they understand Linux. Because if you're nerdy enough to know how to operate a Linux machine, then you know everything about computers, Because you have to be a real fucking nerd loser.
Does Linux still exist?
To use Linux. I think so, yeah.
I used it in, I had a class in high school, actually. A computer class, and we, like, used it here and there. It was weird. It was very weird to use.
Huh. Yeah, I've never
I don't remember much about it, but I just remember it was extreme. It was a weird operating system. Very confusing.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. You need to get a TED cam, by the way. Like the streamers do. Little TED cam.
Yeah, I could.
You'd have to just put another webcam facing your keyboard, though. Your mouse pad, but anyway.
Yeah. That's true.
Also, we acknowledge our new free trial patrons, and we don't thank them, but we acknowledge that they've joined as a free trial, as freeloaders. Beef Pickle, Sean, James J., fake name, Jason C., Mr. Tuesday, and Trevor B. Welcome. You've been acknowledged as free trial patrons. No soundboard for you. No thanks for you. You get nothing. But if you actually join the Patreon after enjoying the benefit of 7 free-ass days, then you'll get a thank you from us at varying degrees, of course.
Yeah. No, you will. Yeah.
You will. Yeah. So you've been acknowledged, free trial pigs. So there you go. Also, Shelly gave us a little super chat, a super comment, I think it's called. There's a lot of ways to give us money. You guys should use all of them, of course. And Shelly did that. It was a comment with cash attached on YouTube, on one of our podcast episodes, of $9.99. And the comment was this: any word on terminal ? This is a great way, by the way, to get your questions answered as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because we're going to answer now. No, there's no word on terminal.
Nope. Coming soon, though, for sure.
Coming soon, yeah.
Leaked. It's confirmed to be coming, yeah.
It was leaked about 5 years ago that we would be getting Terminal in a new COD game. Hasn't come yet, but they said it's coming, so we'll see. Nothing new for MW2, though. People have probably already forgotten about it, and every leaker who said it's definitely coming is just pretending they never said Terminal's coming, and they're never going to have to atone for that lie or own up to it or take responsibility because everyone just forgets that they said it. And then when they get a leak correct, they quote tweet themselves from 2 years ago. And when it doesn't, they just never mention it again. It's really cool. Awesome track record, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I hate leakers. I hate them. Except Tom Henderson, of course. We'll get into it. So, and also we got another dono. So Shelly, thank you very much, by the way, dude. Really appreciate it. You've been very generous lately, and we will take it. Sean S. also donated 10 United States dollars. And it appears that they tried to attach a message, but it corrupted.
Yeah.
Nothing's working. Yeah. I don't see a message attached, unfortunately. So, Sean, if you did attach a message, I would read it right now, right? And if it didn't get corrupted, but it looks like it got corrupted and I simply can't read it. So whatever you wanted to say to me or for us to say to the podcast, we can't because I can't see it. So Sean, thanks for the $10. Sorry about the tech support. Maybe you should DM Edgy and he can help you relay a message via donation. But thank you very much for the donation, dude. We really appreciate that. 10 United States dollars. Now, couple of quick announcements before we get into our regularly scheduled programming here. As we've mentioned, for the Patreon, we will be doing a Vondel brainstorm that will be coming out sometime this week. Not exactly sure when, but I think it will be relatively soon. Well, probably like Friday.
It'll be Thursday or Friday. It depends what
Friday.
order we record things in, I think. Yeah.
Yes. We're going to be recording our Saturday episode and or that Vondel brainstorm for Patreon tomorrow. So I suspect it's going to be coming Friday because I think what we're going to do, Tanner and I, we're going to fucking game tomorrow and then we're going to get off and record probably our first impressions, which we will be releasing on Saturday for public consumption. And then the Vondel brainstorm we will probably record on Thursday. So that'll probably be hitting the Patreon feed on Friday. Now, reminder, for the month of June, you can be a free trial patron. You can listen to that episode. You don't have to spend a dime. So patreon.com/thedropshot if you just want more bonus episodes at no cost to you. For this month, you can become a free trial patron. So consider doing that. But I'm very excited to do those episodes. I'm more excited, of course, to play Vondel. But I think there's going to be a lot to talk about in both of those episodes, obviously. So very excited about that. Saturday up again, it's going to be pre-recorded, but it will release at our normally scheduled time. We will go over the patch notes more briefly than normal for season 4, and then we are going to be doing first impressions of season 4, which is probably going to be mostly Vondel, although if it's terrible we might want to try Ashika and Maz, in which case we'll talk about those things. But it's going to be our first impressions of season 4 based on what we've played. So the very likely scenario is going to be we're talking about pretty much only Vondel.
And the actual gameplay changes we get, shit like that. Yeah.
Yes. And maybe the new guns too. We'll see how that all pans out. And then Tanner has one more announcement for everyone, which I find very interesting.
You're talking about the Black Cell thing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a new Black Cell bundle this season. Again, in case you don't know, in case you live under a rock, they removed the more expensive battle pass tier that required COD points, and they changed it to actual cash. So Black Cell costs like $29.99. You can't use your saved up COD points from previous, battle passes. You have to use real money to purchase it. So if you want to purchase it, that's great. But a reminder, just like at the start of season 3, you will send us $30 on the dropshot.com. There's a donate link. You will send us $30 if you buy Black Cell, because Activision does not deserve any more money. They shouldn't get any more money. So if you're going to buy it, great, but just think when you're purchasing it, it's a $60 bundle because you're paying $30 to them and you're paying $30 to us. So if you want to do it, go right ahead, but send us $30 or fuck you. So you are forced to do that.
That's correct. Yeah. If you buy Black Cell, because Activision now has pay to win skins and the existence of this bundle, which requires $30 even if you have 1 billion COD points, which is of course absurd, and for a litany of other reasons, sins Activision is committed. If you buy the Black Cell bundle, that's fine, but you owe us $30 also. And just to remind you as well, oh, but I have $30 to spend, but I don't have 60. What should I do? Here are a couple options. Number one, give us $30 first, and then you're allowed to buy Black Cell during Season 4 later when you get your next paycheck. Or whatever. Or option two is, okay, well, I'm going to buy Black Cell now for $30. I owe the Dropshot $30 as well. And in a week, I'm going to owe them $35, right? Because there's a $5 per week interest fee, and you can just keep accruing interest. That's fine. It's simple interest, it's not compound interest. $5 extra a week. So you could pay $60 at the point of purchase, or you could pay $65 in a week, or $70 in 2 weeks, etc. But you will owe us also $30 if you buy Black Cell, because you're not allowed to support Activision and their terrible business practices, their immoral business practices, and not also pay us money. It's that simple.
You know what's crazy too?
What's
$30
crazy?
for Black Cell, an operator skin basically, or $50 to become a gold patron for an entire year.
True.
A year's worth of content for only $20 more over one stupid, ugly dog shit skin in a trash garbage video game.
That's a great point. How many hours of content would that $50 get you? I mean, 3 times 12 bonus episodes. Holy shit, man. That's a lot. That's a minimum of 36 hours.
And they're all longer than that. I would say minimum of 50 hours. Yeah. So probably you're looking at 50 hours of content at least.
50 hours of entertainment, or getting to look at your shitty operator skin that you're only going to use until next season while you're playing the game, by the way, which is
a first-person game, and you also don't see your own operator.
That's correct.
Because it's a first-person shooter.
Yeah, that's true. You'll be seeing 5% of your operator because you only see the hands. So you're really paying a huge premium for what? Or you could get, 50, literally dozens of hours of entertainment, and enlightening, insightful, educational entertainment in the form of bonus content, in addition to being able to listen to episodes earlier and without ads. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And exclusive access to the Patreon alley in the
the
Discord.
Little dirty.
The dirty, disgusting alley where you guys, where there are rats and other dangers. But hey, you have to be a patron to go to that alley, so it's pretty. It's the alley behind the lounge, by the way. The bouncer at the door of the lounge said, "Oh no, you can't. You don't have the credentials. You're not on the list. You can go hang out in the alley, though. That's what the Patreon alley is." Yeah. So,
very true. Very.
So
very true.
just a couple things to keep in mind. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. So yeah, if you gave us anything on Kick, I can't see it. So I don't know. Tell us, and we'll figure it out.
Oh, big stretch. Big stretch.
What are you, a cat?
Yeah.
You can't big stretch yourself.
Just did.
You can't. And I'll edit it out.
I already did, so.
Oh, all right. Boys and girls, welcome. Today, we have a lot to talk about. So, the order for things we're going to talk about today is going to be kind of all over the place. Normally, we start with patch notes and changes already in effect, but there are none, of course. which is fine actually, because season 4 comes out in 2 days. So there's nothing to talk about there. So instead, it's kind of all news and changes that are coming up. We are going to start with what we've promised you, which is the Vondel blog post. So, class, if you will direct your attention to the projector, here we have the Vondel blog post. So this came out a while ago, actually. We intended to talk about this on Saturday, but we thought it would be better to talk about it today. And that's what we're doing now. So here's the little tactical preview. This is a pretty looking map, by the way.
Colorful, yeah.
Yeah, lots of color. Lot of saturation on that sucker, which I'll take. You can get a little overview here. We've already seen the map layout before, but anyway. Yeah, so then they do some LARPing here. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, Spec Grew commenced recon operation. Red light, green light, yeah.
Got it, yeah. So then they give some more. So once again, some more LARPing, sit rep, whatever. We're never going to talk about lore here, so sorry. If you want cool lore, go play a game that has lore in it that's cool. Don't play Call of Duty for lore. That simple. So anyway, here we go. So this satellite image above represents the entire AO of Vondel. So once again, we've already kind of seen this. The interesting tidbits here in this blog post and the things we want to cover and mention and get into a little more detail on are specific POIs, because that's kind of what it's kind of the bulk of this blog post really is, showcasing all the POIs on the map, because you get an overview, which is nice, and it can tell you something about how the map will play, which we've already talked about. For example, what do you think of when you see this? I think of snorkels, I think of goggles, I think of nose plugs for the nerds, I think of sunscreen, I think of boogie boards, I think of water, I think of getting wet, right? But we already have talked about that. So now let's get specific here.
I have a question on this image.
Okay.
Why do you think district, courtyard, and the other district are like smaller font and also a lighter
Gray.
color?
That's a great question.
Because I get that like souvenirs district and Kunstenar district are long words, but I don't like, why are they a different color? And then courtyard's a short word, so why is that also smaller and a long color? I wonder what the fuck that means.
I guess they're like miniature POIs, but souvenirs district is pretty big. I don't know. That's a great question.
I mean, souvenirs district is way bigger than like graveyard right next to it. Yeah,
it says
it's actually
in the bottom left. Marked point of interest versus unmarked point of interest. So the courtyard is a POI, but in game, when you open your map, it's not going to have a name.
It's not called a POI. Yeah. Okay, cool. There we go.
So it's a POU, basically, probably. But anyway, so there you go. So, okay. Quick note here. Cool. When referencing hostile forces within the AO, this refers to DMZ only. So, yeah, if we start talking about AI, that doesn't pertain to Warzone. So first is Castle. This is in the top left of the... I hate them. I wanted to have this open on another tab, but I can't, so cool. Anyway, yeah, Castle's up here, top left. So just something to keep in mind there. Castle. We've already seen this image. Very foggy. Pretty much the worst picture they could take to showcase the castle.
Yeah.
I will say it looks less miserable to fight at the castle proper than Ashika. It's not as tall, and the footprint is larger, meaning it's a wider building with fewer stories. Because like right now I'm seeing 3 to 4 stories, whereas Ashika's castle is, I can't count that high stories. And it's also all in like 2 square feet. So it's like a big... It's like a lighthouse, really. That's the Ashika castle.
I mean, Ashika's technically really like 3 playable floors, 3 or 4. Yeah. It's the layout, though, that's weird. How, like, one floor is only on one small area. Another floor takes up the entire building. It's just like a weird layout in general. But yeah, this definitely looks a lot better to fight. And Castle on Ashika, yeah, just, I mean, miserable. I get so mad when people mark that to land there. Yeah. I just want to leave the lobby immediately.
This looks less dog shit, though, because also when people are playing on the roof on like Ashika, there are so many ways to take cover and so many different like LOS cuts. There are fewer here. This is a more standard looking roof. So still not a good POI to fight in, almost certainly, but less dog shit than Ashika Castle. And importantly, it's also in the top left of the map.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a dead POI, to be honest.
It's going to be a lot less relevant. Yeah. So that's good. So anyway, should we read these descriptions here?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm kind of like
whatever.
Looking through it quickly to see if anything is interesting, but yeah.
Little scanning. So yeah, here's another picture of the castle. This is pretty. This actually looks, if it weren't for the very tall roofs, this looks like an interesting area to fuck around in. But still quite dangerous, I would say. Yeah.
The roof thing is going to be, I think, an issue everywhere. There are two possible major issues, and that's the rooftops and the waterways on the map for sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't have much to say on this really. Again, I just don't care that much since it's in the top left of the map. Luckily.
Interesting. The survey team encountered several UAV towers in this location, making it one of the more exposed areas for recon tech and Vondel.
Oh, okay.
I wonder why that of all POIs would have more UAV towers. Are we calling it Vondel or Vondel? Because like every video I watched, people were saying Vondel. Maybe it is Vondel.
There's no accent mark, so according to English language, it should be Vondel, but it's also not an English word, I guess, right? So maybe it is Vondel.
It's something, yeah.
I won't be saying Vondel.
I don't like saying, I feel like a prick if I say that, to be honest. So.
You know what I can do?
Little Google where it reads it to you, or it speaks it to you.
How to say Vondel, yeah, here we go. Let's see what YouTube says.
Take a little peek.
Dutch. Vondel, Dutch. Vondel, Dutch.
Vondel, in like a Dutch accent. But it's not Vondel. No, there's no way. The Dutch person is saying Vondel. So yeah, it's Vondel confirmed. Those people can't read. So there we go. Anyway, that's been sorted out. Okay. Operators should be prepared to encounter one or multiple enemy strongholds and heightened enemy response. So that's again relating to DMZ. So
yeah.
There you go. All right. So here's another picture. This is the inside of the castle, giving me strong Fortune's Keep vibes.
That is my exact thought, yeah.
Like, kind of like old-timey.
Which I don't like, because that was the worst POI on Fortune's Keep, if you're talking about the actual... Fuck, what was it called? The POI in the middle at the top, that was the worst POI by far.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, it reminds me of that.
The Keep,
yeah.
I think, maybe?
The Keep, yeah, Keep, miserable POI.
Yeah. The saving grace here, though, will be that unlike in Fortune's Keep, you'll probably be able to at least see people inside here. Because this is a different game. So that would make it more bearable. But will it make it good? Doesn't really look like it. But again, don't care that much because I won't be going to Castle. Next is University. Rivenburg University. Here we got a little screenshot once again. I'm more, the building is a building. I'm looking outside. We got a lot of cars. I wonder if the cars will blow up like they do on fucking the dog shit multiplayer map. What do you think? Think these cars be exploding?
No, I don't think so. I feel like they're just simply part of the map.
I think you're right, because I don't think there have ever been in Warzone vehicles that are not drivable that can explode. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never really thought about it.
I can't think of any. Because on Caldera there were the decorative vehicles, but they didn't blow up.
God, I've never thought about that. I don't even pay attention. I couldn't even tell you if like Ashika has random vehicles around. I just have never paid attention to it. I don't think it does.
I don't think so. I mean, it has like jet skis, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you can drive those.
Oh, you're talking about like as decor. Yeah. So these probably can't be blown up.
Yeah.
So if they can't be blown up, which I don't think they will be able to, there's a decent amount of cover on the street, but you can take cover from one side of rooftops or another, not both.
Yeah.
Smokes are going to be real good on this map, just like they are on Ashika.
In the first image of University here, these buildings, you see the one in this closest row, the far left, that steep rooftop?
Yeah.
Those roofs you cannot get on. I don't know what happens if you try to land on them, like when you're coming back in, if it acts like there's nothing there and you just keep floating in your parachute until you're off the roof. I'm not sure, but I know you can't like mantle on those and like climb on them. So that's good at least, because that would have been very weird and an absolute insane head glitch.
That head glitch would be
with a roof
fucking disgusting.
That steep.
Yeah.
So those ones you cannot go on. Then the ones in between that you can obviously tell they have flatter rooftops. Those have rappels going up to them, staircases going up to those, ladders, things like that. But the steep roofs you cannot get on the actual roof itself.
Yeah. One thing I'm starting to notice in general, this map looks a lot flatter than Ashika or Moz.
It is completely flat. That is one thing the people that played it early pointed out. JGod and all the others. I watched a few videos. Nixta. There is no high ground at all.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I think the entire map is actually the same exact elevation pretty much, and then just the buildings different certain areas. Like I said about Castle. Castle is technically the tallest POI.
Okay. Yeah. So that's an interesting dynamic because with Moz and Ashika, there's a lot of elevation changes, and that makes running around in the open less dangerous because you can often get under or above someone and out of line of sight. That won't be possible here. If you want cover, you need to be on like hard cover or in a
high ground's going to be insanely important here, especially late game, going from roof to roof, jumping from building to building.
Yes. So this is going to feel a lot more like, I would say Verdansk in that regard, actually. Rooftops are going to matter a lot. And hard cover is going to matter a lot. With that said, this street does not look uncrossable, which is good, obviously. You want to be able to like move around the map. You know what this reminds me of layout wise actually is Caldera Capital. This gives me heavy Capital vibes. Like a lot of buildings, not super tall.
Yeah, I guess.
Streets. It reminds me more
Capital
of Capital
kind of a small
downtown.
Slope though.
Yeah, there's
Castle
more.
Almost,
it's not as flat, but yeah. So that'll be interesting, but there you go. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the university's 3 stories. The
actual detail on everything is so cool. Like when you look at like the first and second screenshot, it's very detailed. Just like the bikes parked outside, all the street signs. It looks really interesting.
You know what isn't super detailed? This map on 50 frames, which is what it'll be. The frame rate is not going to be great on launch, especially. Like you said, there's so much detail. My computer's going to explode rendering this in. But anyway, we have another screenshot here. This next one, this is another side. God, this looks like a university. This goofy shit, these like wavy pieces of metal on a wall. This is college shit for sure. I saw shit like this all the time in Long Beach. I saw it all the time at SAC, Mount SAC. I don't know why colleges love doing shit like that, but anyway, this looks very college-y. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about this area. This kind of reminds me of the ticketing booth at Stadium in Verdansk, actually. A little bit. Like a big building and then like the shrubs and shit outside. I don't know. I just got that vibe from it, but yeah. Okay. This is an area. I don't know. I don't have much to say on it. So, moving on here. City Hall. So here we have another screenshot. Gorgeous area. This looks exactly like Keep. I don't know where City Hall is on the here's City Hall here in the top right on Vondel. Okay. Got it. So this again is not going to be super in play if you don't want it to be. Very tall building. Looks like a castle. I mean, I don't know. It looks pretty, but This is somewhere I don't want to be. Kind of also reminds me of the one map, Villa, was it called, on BO4? A little bit. I don't know. Not much to say here either. There's a rappel you can see. That's good. And yeah, I don't know. Not much else to add here. So let's move on. It's a Greek revival building. It's 5 stories. Okay. That's good to know. And a pretty solid head glitch on that roof, by the way. So just another thing to keep in mind. Here's the inside of it. We've seen this screenshot before. Now we know where it is. It's in City Hall. Pretty fucking open. But there is enough cover. I'll take it. Not much to add here. And then that's pretty much it. So moving on to Central Station. So this
City Hall's pretty.
What?
I said City Hall is very pretty.
Yeah, it is.
The actual building. These are all based on real places, I guess, in Amsterdam. Is what people had been saying. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what their actual City Hall looks like. They modeled after, so that looks dope.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks cool. So, anyway, moving on. Central Station, so we can see here, it's on the east of the map. This is more central east, but it is on the edge of the map. From the footprint here, you can see, like, City Hall, not that big of a POI. The POI is really just one giant building and the entrance to it. University is bigger, which is unsurprising. And Central Station, the footprint is pretty fucking big, actually. And I suspect...
Very long, yeah.
This is going to play a lot like Train Station in Verdansk.
100%.
So anyway, we've seen, I think, this screenshot before. I don't know if we have, but this screenshot really doesn't tell us much. So moving on to the next one. God, what a beautiful city this is. All the architecture is so nice. Look at this fucking, like, grandfather-y ass clock hanging down. Anyway, here's an interior of the Central Station. Looks fine.
Looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of this is like one floor here too. Like, sure, you may be able to shoot through those skylights at the top. Not 100% sure. Maybe you can't. But like this whole area right here, basically just one level, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like Train Station on Verdansk, at least from this image, it very well could be multiple levels. But on Verdansk, Train Station was like, it was essentially 2 entirely different levels that were long and like laid out and everything, you know? So this is different than that, more flatter fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, so far there are fairly open areas based on the screenshots, but there is like some cover in all of them, which is good, which I like, obviously. I don't like these open ass rooms with like one thing in the middle or something, and that doesn't seem to be the case, which is nice. So
yeah.
Moving on, we've already seen this screenshot. This is more of here's a little metro train, whatever. So that's kind of that. Next is the mall. This is cool. So it's like a quasi outdoor mall. We got an escalator here. This looks fun to fight around. I think this is going to play pretty well. You could dip in and out of these little shops. It's open. It's sunny. You can get dropped on or shot from up top too.
And the roofs, yeah, I don't know. I
really like how this
spot to fight. Actually,
I don't mean like being on the escalator. I mean like being in one of these shops or like in the doorway. You know,
camping a little shop. Yeah, actually, it looks like most of the shops are closed off, which is good. Like a lot of them, you can tell you just can't go in because that creates too many little rat corners and shit in terms of gameplay. This reminds me of that area on Raid, the bottom part of Raid, where that whole that big like water fountain statue's at. That's what this little piece here reminds me of.
Kinda, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it looks pretty though. Again.
Mm-hmm. And you are right. If you're able to go into all of those shops, it would be too many little rooms. But a lot of them do look inaccessible, which is good. So, here is the bottom floor of the mall. This looks cool, dude. Yeah, this looks fun to fight in. There's a lot of cover you can see at the bottom here at this midpoint. It's not like cover from everywhere, but if you're getting shot from only one team and you're at mid, you can take cover from them no matter where they are, which I like. But if you're getting shot from two different sides and you're at the mid, you're fucked, which is exactly what you want cover to be. By the way, the mall is here to the west of Central Station. So now we're getting very interior. This is like as close to the dead center almost as you could get, which we'll get into. But yeah, this looks cool too. And then it doesn't look like it's a huge footprint, the mall. Like it's not a big mall. This is not an American mall, obviously. It's not that big. But it's got 2 levels and it looks pretty fun to fight in, I think.
I'm trying to see how many levels. So the 2-story main mall building,
and then
both
roof.
Interior floors. Okay, yeah.
I think it's just 2 plus roof. So anyway,
yeah.
Next is the Souvenirs District. This is one of the unmarked POIs. We see a screenshot here. So on the overhead map, this is again just to the west of Mall. This is almost completely dead center of the map. And it's right next to the mall and the graveyard. So this looks, I mean, awful. It's a little alley, and it's the Patreon alley. It's the patron alley.
It's too clean for the patron alley, I think.
Yeah, this is way too nice. All the shops are closed off. It's actually just like a kill zone, like a death funnel.
You can get in some of them. You can tell, like that white door, that one you can definitely go inside. The one to the left of it, there's like a metal gate. You can't go in that. And the thing I'll point out here, which like JGod was saying and Nixta, so you can see here in these screenshots, see like on the second and third floor, you see the windows and they just look black. In pretty much every building on the map that is like this, you can fight in the first floor, and then like the second through however many floors up to the top, you can't shoot out of the windows. So like if there are 5 floors, the first floor has windows and doors you can go in and out, shoot out of. Second, third, and fourth floor is literally just a staircase that you go up higher. Then you get to the 5th floor, where you can look through the windows up there, and then you have roof access. So at least you don't have to like, at least there aren't, 10 windows on each side of one thin little building that you have to look out. You know they're either going to be up top, probably on the roof, or down low, and they're pretty much always going to be on the roof. So I think that makes it play better. Since there's so much verticality, I feel like that was smart of them to do, rather than being able to shoot out of like every floor, because this immediately that would just ruin the entire map. That is
incredibly smart of them to do. And this was my biggest problem with Verdansk. And you would see this, the worst, of course, was downtown. There would be
apartment buildings.
Yeah, like 20-story buildings, and every single floor had a different window. So if you're running past it and you're getting shot from that building, you're never going to find which window you're getting shot out of. But you can have a bunch of verticality if you don't let them shoot you from every single floor. That's a really good way to add a lot of verticality if you want that, but also not make it completely cancer to like fight around the area of only being able to shoot out of like 2 windows of the 5 floors. I'm glad you mentioned that. And by the way, we will talk more about what JGod and the other person said later on. So, but yeah, that's a good thing to point out. And kudos to whoever designed the map for that decision. But yeah, there you go. So I can see why this is unmarked, by the way. Here's another screenshot of it. Got a staircase here. This is accessible.
Nice looking staircase. God, fuck, this map is so pretty.
It's a pretty map.
God damn.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, moving on. Oh, another screenshot of it here too. We've got some vandalism on the wall here.
That's not vandalism, that's art.
Well,
oh, smoke shop back there. Hell yeah, shop, brother.
Yeah.
You get the tear gas effect when you go in it, walk out, you're a little high or what? That's what being high is like, right? It's just like being tear gassed,
a gas
essentially.
Grenade when you walk in there, your character starts coughing. Yeah, that's something Activision would do. Anyway, moving on to the next POI, the market. So the market on the overhead map, the market is the dead center of the map. Market is the center of Vondel. It is the POI in the middle. as middle as it gets.
Little
Not
Black
a
Hawk
big
Down
footprint
area, huh?
at all, by the way. Really small little market here. So going back to the screenshot here, here's our first one. There is a downed helicopter in the middle of it, I guess. We see a building here. This screenshot actually tells me almost nothing about this POI.
Yeah, the market's a little messed up. What happened there?
Yeah, it's a great question.
It overlooks the heavily damaged Vondel market, which provides little cover. Good.
Interesting.
Operators should move quickly through this exposed location.
Okay.
Looks not that interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's a nice little bar in the second screenshot there.
Yeah.
That's the lounge. That's the Damascus Lounge.
This is the Damascus Lounge.
A nice little bar. Look it up top. You got the string lights up there, some tables to have your espresso martini up there. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's the lounge.
That's the lounge indeed, yeah. Yeah, these screenshots are miserable for the market, though. The first one tells me almost nothing about the POI, nor does the second one, really. I mean, what a terrible angle. I
was thinking, I was trying to figure out where's the actual market, but now I realize it is just destroyed. Like, the first screenshot right there, all these tents and shit are like the destroyed little canopies, basically, from the market.
Yeah,
so now I'm understanding. Because I'm thinking,
yeah.
Where's the actual market? But that's it. It is pretty destroyed.
Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, so actually not much to say on the market.
Yeah, it looks like a boring POI.
Yeah. That's one where I don't have enough information. I need to land there. Like, these screenshots aren't good enough at all. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on to the graveyard. The graveyard is to the northwest of the market, west of the souvenirs district. So, still fairly central, just south of Castle. A lot of water surrounding it. Here's the first screenshot. There's a little chapel in the middle of the graveyard, or outside the graveyard, I guess. Okay, looks pretty uninteresting, but this looks like actually a pretty solid building, though. I could see if the circle is ending around this area, having this chapel, getting on the second story on these balconies. Solid position. And then
that one you can for sure
roof,
jump on the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's a little AC jump spot.
glitch. Yeah.
That's a good building to be on. Yeah.
So this is going to be a lot like Fortune's Keep in that a lot of the building's rooftops are so angular that the head glitches are going to be nasty. So you have to be really careful if you're getting shot from them, and you really want to be on it yourself, because you will not be able to take people off these head glitches unless you're sniping, which we'll get into. So anyway, here's the next screenshot of the graveyard. This is, I don't know what's going on in here. A disgusting, not sanitary looking little secret tech lab.
Yeah, Intel
or something.
suggests that Redacted is active within the underground morgue. That makes sense.
Fucking Redacted, man.
Damn, those Redacted cocksuckers.
Yeah, so anyway, not much to say on this second screenshot here, and that's kind of it. Next is the Politie station. I guess that's the word. So police station is directly southeast of the market. Here's the first picture. So again, the police station is very small footprint, small building in terms of square footage on the bottom, but it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories tall. However, doesn't look like you can shoot out of most of these windows, which is good.
Yeah, like I said, like none of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a small, tall building. Here's the front of it. Got another screenshot here. Someone has driven a car into the police station. Got a nice little lobby here. This is the nicest police station on Earth, by the way, if it's real.
So this says, by the way, it's a 5-floor structure. Inside there, you can use stairs to get up to the top, a ladder to get up to the top, or an elevator shaft. That's a lot of ways up there just from the inside.
Yeah.
That's good that they made like numerous ways to get up there.
You want that.
I guess that's like...
It counters
I guess that's kind of how the apartment building is in Ashika. There's the ladder on the backside, there's the rappel on the inside, and then there's the... Yeah, there's the staircase on the other side. I guess that's normal, actually.
Is there a ladder to get on top apartments?
Yeah, it's on the east side of it.
I did not know that. I know there's the 2 rappels and the staircases. I've never seen it. Oh,
I'm not talking about that apartment building. I'm talking about the one above like Market, whatever that thing is called. Maybe that's not called apartment. I don't know what that building's called.
Yeah.
That building just to the east of the Market on Ashika. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, here's another screenshot of the police station. Not much to say there. Next is Courtyard. This is another one of the unmarked POIs. This is southwest of the Market. Don't be here at all. Looks terrible.
Oh, luxury apartment. So higher loot then, right?
Yeah.
That's how it should be, man.
Maybe. This particular screenshot is not where you want to be, really. Lot of rooftops around you. Tall rooftops. Pretty area, though. So whatever. Next screenshot here for the Courtyard. Now we're seeing some water. This is our first insider look at the canal. So you can see you can jump up to land from a lot of places if you're in the canals. I see two right here that are 20 meters apart. I'm sure
there's
there
one
are
on the
more.
far right too, a ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, the ladder on the far right as well. There's probably one on the far left that we can't really see.
Wouldn't you just love having lunch right there, right along that?
And then some guy swims out of the water and starts gunning me down with a Cronin Squall while I'm trying to enjoy a nice panini. Yeah, I would love that for sure.
Cafe Nicolas. Nice little rappel there.
There is a rappel, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of rappels, which I'm pleased to report.
That's what I was about to say, is I hope there are a ton of them so you don't have to like...
Yeah.
There needs to be easier access if there's going to be this many rooftops. Otherwise, one team is going to control like a whole block being on the roof.
Exactly. So that's good. And now we get a better look at why you can't stand on the rooftops. Some of them that Tanner was talking about earlier. I mean, it's just physics. That rooftop is entirely too...
It's
entirely too steep. That's
it's like absolutely vertical. Yeah.
That's like a 75, 80 degree incline. So you simply can't stand on it. Yeah. So that's good. The rooftops you won't be able to stand on are going to be immediately obvious to you if you've been a human being and seen things in real life before, or in video games only. So anyway, moving on. Fire department. So here's a look at the fire station. This is on the west side of the map, a little bit southward. This POI is either it's fucking huge or there's just no other POIs around it and the area surrounding it is really big. But here's a first look at it. Again, look at all these windows. Obviously, you can't shoot out of them. That's good. You don't want to be able to shoot out of every window. It looks like it's a 3-story fire station building. Reminds me a lot of the buildings on Ashika Island in terms of the interior, at least based on what I'm seeing here. I could be wrong. Let's go to the next screenshot here. There's some water in the fire station. There's like little water parking spots. That's interesting. Wonder what that would be for. But fire boats? I don't know. Anyway.
For the amphibious vehicles, man.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know fire departments used amphibious vehicles, but I guess it makes sense. You can just get a hose.
It must be for boats.
You just take in water from below you and just shoot it out of a hose. That'd be pretty efficient.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, another little screenshot. I don't know. I'd love to see the inside of the fire station, but it doesn't really show us, so it's probably not very interesting. Or it is. And
it says there's a helipad there. It sounds like so that'll be a helicopter little spawn location on the roof of fire department.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Moving on next, floating district. So this is, I think, one of the multiplayer maps as well. That's certainly what it looks like. Here is a different screenshot of it. The floating district is on the southwest corner of the map. Very small POI. Almost not really worth calling a POI on the looks of it, but whatever. And it looks pretty fucking miserable. These windows you can shoot out of. There are a lot of buildings. There's a lot of water. And if you're not doing one of those two things, you're very exposed because there's just walkways.
It looks fun for
cover.
close quarter combat, honestly. Just because you can go in and out of these buildings, the doors. If you're getting shot, you can jump in water. It won't be fun when someone else jumps in the water, but when you can use it to your advantage, it would be fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. If there wasn't water, it would look really fun, I think, yeah. But because
areas
of the water,
like this,
it sounds miserable.
It's like this, too, I feel, where there are a bunch of buildings have a higher density of loot. Because it's like because they think of it like, oh, this building is going to have this many supply boxes. This little house right next to it is going to have this many supply boxes. Versus if that area had the same footprint and was just one large open building, it would have way less loot. So I feel like an area like this is going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of loot. You're right. I agree. So anyway, and this is a screenshot we've already seen of the floating district here. So you can see how small it is. Like already there's like streets and it's out of the floating shit. So anyway, Zoo is the next POI. This is a very big location to the east of the floating district. I guess was right. They are adding animals to Warzone.
Yeah.
We finally got them. He said Verdansk, of course, so he was wrong. But anyway, here's a picture of the zoo. I don't see any animals.
Rideable giraffe, yeah. No, it appears they've all deceased. That's been deceased. Yeah.
I'd like to kill them myself, but anyway.
Okay. Got it.
So yeah, it's a zoo. I mean, this looks nothing like a zoo to me, but okay.
Zoos are uninteresting POIs in video games. I don't know.
Yeah, this looks decent to fight at. I don't know why I think that. Actually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Maybe.
Anyway,
1v1 me in the bear pit, yeah.
1v1 me in the gorilla enclosure, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another picture of the zoo.
It would probably make good gunfight maps in there, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
There's an animal hospital too. Yeah, a lot of stims there.
POI looks fun to fight in. Look at the second screenshot.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Zoo.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
It looks pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
How it's all like stone brick
too.
Inside.
Like one
you're right. This does look really cool, actually.
Yeah, this looks good, dude. This looks like a fun POI to fight in. And
it's leopard shark. In this 2-story structure, one can still see a leopard shark along with a sunken ship and other aquatic life within the reinforced tanks.
A little leopard shark, huh?
What is going to be some sort of Easter egg? Shoot the leopard shark. It jumps out, tries to bite you. You knife it in the throat, and then you have like a new melee weapon, and it's a leopard shark tooth. That one hits everyone.
This is a leopard shark, for those of you wondering. I can't believe it's a real animal. This thing looks cool as fuck. It's got like leopard spots, you know? So
like a leopard, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, those are pretty little sharks.
Yeah, cute little sharks. And then here's another screenshot of the zoo, the outside of the zoo. Even this looks fun. This looks like a really solid POI to get in gunfights.
Yeah, you're right. It does.
This looks really cool.
It's got a good mix of close quarter inside combat, but then the outside isn't too cluttered with loot, and it's also not completely open. It's like the perfect mix of everything.
Yeah.
Like these little rocks you can hide behind real quick and plate up while someone's pushing you. Yeah, that looks fun.
Yeah. It's also fairly central. So this is like whether or not this is a good drop spot is really going to depend on the loot situation. But it's pretty big, so you can probably loot a lot here.
Where is it at? Central? Well, I guess. It is the largest footprint of a POI of anything.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
that's
true.
By far, actually. Well, other than Castle, I guess.
Depends on what constitutes Castle, yeah, I guess. But besides Castle, it's definitely the biggest, yeah. So, Zoo's looking solid. I mean, they do call me an animal, a beast.
No one's ever called you that, ever.
So maybe I belong in a zoo. This looks like my favorite POI so far. So anyway, moving on. Stadium is the next one. Stadium is located east of zoo, directly south of the Marquette. Here's our first look at it. Terrible screenshot of the stadium. It's really a canal with the stadium outside
it's
of it.
The entrance to it. Yeah, it looks dope inside though. Yeah, this does not look great from out here.
You can see here, which is good. Yeah, I can't say anything based on that screenshot.
What is nice about this though, instead of it being like super high up everywhere, like if you're thinking Verdansk Stadium, that is not at all how this
not
is.
Even close.
From the outside, it's like the height of a 2-story building, if that, because it goes like essentially underground. It goes like below sea level, it looks like. So then when you get inside the stadium, it goes down. Oh, I guess the stadium's actually small as it is, but it's like the same level as the water, essentially. So it's not just some massive stadium on a map that doesn't have a whole lot of like super tall elevation. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the Verdansk Stadium, yeah. I mean, like, from the outside in the canal, it looks like it's 2 stories. So it might depress a little more once you're in, but the rooftop is like 2 stories tall, effectively. So, next screenshot here. This looks fucking awful. Terrible, awful, worst place besides the water to fight.
What are you talking about?
I hate it.
You're a fucking pussy shitter.
I don't
This,
like it at all. Way
unironically,
too
I
much
am so
cover.
excited for this. This will be so fun to fight at. You're just dog shit. Just because I'm going
No.
to break your ankles and break your aim assist, you're
Stop.
pissed about it, huh?
If there
Fucking
was
dog
audio,
shit
maybe this
shitter.
would be fun. By the way, notice on the very left, that looks like a buy station here. Something
Yeah.
to consider, something to keep in mind.
This is going to be one of the hottest drops, I think. This will be a hot drop location for sure.
This reminds me a lot of the miserable gunfight map we had with all the colorful little pieces of cover in it. And that's all it was. It reminds me a lot of that. This would be fun if there weren't so many inflatables, whatever these are, by the way. There are too many of them.
Speedball, man.
No, it's not like Speedball at all. It has way...
I'm saying it's speedball, paintball. That's what it is. It's a paintball map.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Well, change it. There's too many of these little inflatables here. This looks fucking awful to me. If you think it looks fun, that's cool, I guess, but I don't know.
Are you saying it reminds you of actual, like, the stadium gunfight map in Verdansk?
No.
I don't know what map you're talking about then. I'm looking through your map list. I can't find anything that's colorful like you're explaining.
I don't know if it was actually colorful, but it was like a really small square, and there were just like big round pieces of cover at like every 3 feet among like 4 rows. So it was like an actual maze almost. And it was really, really bad. Was it kind of like multi-level, like it had a bunch of little jump spots? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're thinking of a map that doesn't exist then. I don't know. Because there was the one called Aisle 9 that I'm looking at a screenshot of. That is a miserable one, if that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Because to me, it just reminds me of Stadium from MW19. Same type of thing. It's on an actual stadium, and there's like things stacked up. There's boxes. In MW19, it was like wooden boxes and crates, and this, it's just like an inflatable thing. Kind of reminds me of that. A lot of cover on Stadium too.
Had 3 lanes, though. This is just like... We just airdropped. We carpet bombed the stadium with inflatables. I don't know. We'll see how it plays. I don't think it looks good at all. I think it looks like there's too much little small pieces of cover at mid, but we'll see how it plays.
Know. Get your AA up, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Try dynamic.
Yeah. Response curve, by the way. Next is Cruise Terminal. This POI is southmost of the map, in the middle, south of the stadium. This looks
terrible.
Interesting.
Oh, the second screenshot's nice. Outside does not look great.
Looks weird.
Too many variations in height.
Yeah,
a little weird.
Looks weird.
I don't know.
If you're at the fountain, you're in danger, but if you're like inside anywhere else, pretty much, you're kind of fine. I think this could maybe be fun. I don't know. I'd have to play this, but it's hard to say. The next screenshot here is the inside, a gorgeous bar.
That's the Damascus Lounge. Yeah,
this is
that's the new lounge.
Damascus Lounge. We've just relocated.
Modern, lights everywhere.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
we've relocated.
Yeah, very modern.
What are you ordering at a bar like that? What's your go-to cocktail at that type of little lounge bar?
I want to get an old-fashioned, but this is too modern.
Old-fashioned's a good one.
It is, but this is too modern to get an old-fashioned. I need to embrace the modernity here. And I think
it's like a whiskey sour. Feels a little more modern.
Yeah, whiskey sour is more modern, I would say.
This looks like a whiskey sour bar, yeah. If it's nighttime, I could go for a little Spro martini too. I think that may hit there. This bar. The seats look uncomfortable though, I'll be honest. No backer on those seats.
European-ass seats, yeah.
I'm having a few Spro martinis, I'm falling right back onto the floor.
And then it's a lawsuit. And you'd get a lot of money from this establishment. They make money.
Europeans don't sue, though. That's the thing. That is an American thing. True. Europeans just fall off and say, "Oi, bloke, what the fuck?" Or I guess those are Brits. But Americans, I'm just immediately suing. Yeah.
Yeah, the taxpayers just pay all your medical bills anyway, so why sue? Anyway, in terms of fighting here, looks pretty dog shit in this particular room. Honestly, I don't think this looks good, but
I mean, I'm the bartender there. I'm just gonna head glitch that bar for sure.
Yeah, like fucking in Hotel Royale.
Oh yeah,
that fucking bar.
You could not kill people off that.
It was impossible, dude. Yeah, and this is the same shit. So, I get.
This looks lower though, at least.
But anyway, another screenshot of it here. This looks like a different fucking. Oh yeah, it's the cruise terminal. I forgot. I was so entranced. I thought it was just the bar.
Oh, this is
POI.
something different, by the way. In this bar, it's the first floor lobby of a hotel. Where did it go? Oh, the roof is accessible from the inside via a parkour route up the elevator shaft. Have we had that before? An elevator shaft that's kind of just you got to do a bunch of jump on a box.
I think when it became Verdansk 86 and Trump changed
84.
into that whatever, and Trump changed into that other thing, I think that elevator shaft is accessible. I forget what that POI was called, but anyway.
They're stealing more stuff from Tarkov. The interchange jump up on the backside of interchange where you go through that shaft. Yeah, they just steal everything from Tarkov.
Yeah. Okay. Except the fun part. Yeah. So the next screenshot here. This looks not great to fight in my opinion. I don't know. I don't like it very much. Weird cover that's not very good. Or very, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be that fun to fight in.
It's fine, yeah.
It's not great, but yeah, it's not terrible either. So anyway. Oh, excuse me. Next is the Hayring Museum. So this is located southeast of the map, southeast of the Marquette. This
is the worst POI.
Awful. Yeah.
This will be the worst POI on the map,
good.
I think.
Very tall building that you can't like easily climb up. Looks really bad and not good also. Moving on to the next location.
A lot of little like alleyways, like covered tight alleyways, a lot of staircases. And then the second screenshot, yes, there's like an entire underground
dark, which
cavern.
Is awesome.
This is Ashika Castle. That's the Ashika Castle of Vondel, his museum. Not good.
Yeah. Actually true. Luckily it's not as central. But pretty dog shit. Yeah. Miss me from the museum. Much like real life, I'm not interested. Outside of the museum looks kind of cool here. This third screenshot. We have again some more graffiti on the wall here. But a cute little area, I guess. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, museum is a miss. Next is the exhibit POI. This is located on the southeastmost corner of the map.
Beautiful architecture.
Great modern architecture. Yeah.
Big glass windows, super clear.
Yep.
I'm running into that glass on accident for sure.
We're seeing a lot of water. It looks pretty sketchy to fight in that level. Maybe you can shoot out of all of these windows, not the ones on the I don't know what story, but you can shoot.
This
out
looks
of some
very
windows,
fun
I
to
guess.
fight at, actually.
You
like
think
just
so?
if you're getting shot at, just dolphin dive off that top window there, jump into the water, or pull your chute and jump back in through the bottom there. This looks fun. I think you can have a lot of close quarter fights here, and it looks like you can get on the roof as well.
It does look
I think that's what the second screenshot shows.
It's a very unusual POI. So the next screenshot here, yeah, I think this is the roof.
What a weird building.
Whoa, and there's like that big fucking, it's like a Halo map here. This big like long walkway, all elevated.
The entire building's like a ramp essentially. It's like one long ramp. It's weird.
You have some solar panels for cover. This area up top here looks pretty interesting. Yeah.
Interesting little sniping spot.
For sure.
Where is this on the map?
You're
what are we looking at here?
Too, so it's a very interesting sniper spot. That's a great point.
Yes.
You're not really getting flanked here.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could probably see to just Central Station people on the roof. You can see museum. You can see the whole waterways, people coming from mall area. Yeah, that could be a pretty nasty spot right there, especially late game if you have the control of the top of that building.
Yes, and because this is such a rooftop heavy map, sniping is going to be way more viable than like Ashika, for example, on this map. It's flat and there are a lot of rooftops. That makes sniping way better than on like Ashika. And this might be one of the prime exhibits for doing that. So just something to keep in mind there. The POI's name is Exhibit, by the way. So anyway, moving on to debrief. Is this a POI?
No, it's a debrief.
Okay, so here's a debrief.
Did we cover... Oh, that was Cruise Terminal. Oh, Cruise Terminal is the one that had the Damascus Lounge Bar. I didn't realize that. Okay,
Yes.
that's like a hotel at the Cruise Terminal. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting they name it Cruise Terminal, and then the screenshots you see are of a hotel. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Because the POI looks like very long and massive, so they didn't show much there.
Yeah, some of these screenshots are lacking, frankly. But we'll know more once we play the map. So overall, what are your thoughts, Tanner, on the little map deep dive here? That's the end of the blog post.
Pretty for sure. I like the colors of the map. I'm worried with a few things when it comes to visibility of the gameplay I've seen. It looks like they brought back that sun shining through clouds like we had in Verdansk. So it's like bright, but also you get that weird haze when you look one direction on the map. That's something I noticed from watching some gameplay, so I hope that doesn't translate when you actually play it. The YouTube videos are much lower quality than you're going to see when you actually play it as well. So
True.
Hopefully it's not that bad, but the POIs look great. I'm worried about the water. People have been saying it's not as bad and you can see in it much easier, but unless we're talking like crystal clear Caribbean waters, then it's still simply too dark for me.
Which we're
And
obviously
you
not,
can
'cause we
see
see
in these
it's not.
screenshots,
Yeah.
they're fucking green and muddy looking and trash and shit.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't care if it's a little brighter. It's just not going to be enough. You need to be able to just see through clearly all the way to the bottom.
Here's some water.
And
for
then
you
at
guys.
that point, just don't even add water to the map. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. This map would be like actually perfect if instead of water, these were just roads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about
or how
removing
about
the
like
water
on
and adding
Verdansk,
roads
those
instead.
like the ravines. Or not ravine. What were they called? The little what is that called? The like runoff?
Aqueduct.
Aqueducts, yeah. Sure.
Isn't it? Isn't that what that is?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Here we
Like,
call
what
it the
if
LA
it was
River.
that instead? So that it's not so dangerous, but like
Yeah,
it's also
that would be
pretty
good
open.
too. I mean, it doesn't matter. Obviously, not removing the
Yeah, it
water,
doesn't
but
matter exactly.
there's just too much water. That's what I'm worried about now. I think the roof issue, it's not going to be too big of an issue because none of them are super tall, and also you can get on so many roofs. Whereas, like, say downtown on Verdansk, if you were running around in the open, there's some guy in like a 10-story building right above you shooting you, and there's nothing you can do when you're crossing the street. You're just simply dead. But this, since the buildings are lower, I think you have a better chance of getting behind cover and they won't have as much of an angle on you, shooting back, getting on roofs yourself. So I think that
And
will
we're in
end
a
up being
smoke meta
fairly
too
balanced.
now.
We're in a smoke meta unless they do something and change those or nerf those with Season 4. I don't know what they would do, but yeah. And then the thing I'm least excited for is the fog. Why even bring it? We don't want it. We don't need it. DMZ, great. That's cool. Make it super foggy at times. Make it dark. But I'm not looking forward to getting matches. As rare as they may be with fog, it's just not gonna... A match with fog will never be more fun than one without fog. Like, even if it's 1 out of 10 times, it's like, okay, it didn't just ruin my whole day, but also why did we have to do that? Just keep it clear so I can see people. It's a shooting game.
Yeah. I think I'm largely with you. I think the fog has the potential to provide some fun. If it's, again, very rare, then there will be times where it's cool that there was fog. But I think those are going to be rare. I think most of the time the fog is going to either add nothing or it will subtract from my gameplay experience. So we'll see how that plays out. But since they say it's rare, I'm hoping it actually is, and it's just a neutral,
Yeah.
as many things that they add to this game are. Interestingly enough, after going through this blog post, I'm way less worried about the water than I was before. And the reason for that is because there are so many buildings that you can go into and go on the rooftops of that you're not gonna find people in water very often at all. And there's not really an incentive to be in the water. So first of all, every canal, if you're swimming, someone can be on a rooftop almost right above you. That's not true on Ashika. If you're in the water in Ashika, there's probably no rooftops around you. So the people trying to shoot at you are only like 10 feet above you.
And that's
Whereas
what
on
makes it
this-
hard to see through. Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And whereas on this, you're going to be like 2 or 3 or 4 stories above them, and you're going to be right above them. So
Yeah, great
that's
point.
going to make that better. But also, people just won't want to be in the water, I don't think, as much.
You're
on
going to
this
have
map.
to be, though, to cross a lot. But you
You're
are
gonna-
right.
Of course.
They actually probably did not make the water any different than it is on Ashika or Maz. It is probably just because at a higher elevation, you see them more easily. And that's how it is on Ashika, too. There are times where like, oh, I feel like I can see that guy fairly easily. And it's because you're higher up than if you were just on the beach trying to look at some guy in the water who's 10, 20 feet out. You aren't seeing him if he's a foot underwater there at all.
Yeah.
So that's probably it, yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually a lot less worried about the water than I initially was after going through this. I think the building, there are so many buildings that, and they're so close to all the water, that I think it's going to make the water a way less attractive proposition than it is on like a Sheikah or something, you know? Because also, based on the locations of the canals, if you're in danger, you're not going to be close enough to water to like dive in and escape most of the time. Now, if you're on the floating district, you will be able to immediately go into the water in a situation where you're in a gunfight. But on most of the other POIs, if you're in a gunfight, you're not close enough to the water to just bail yourself out by going into it. I'm way less worried now. Worried now. So I'm actually way more excited for this map than I was before. It looks really fun. It looks really good. I think the water will play less of a role. I hope I'm right. The fog will be annoying, but hopefully it's as rare as they say. And most of the POIs look actually pretty interesting. And none of them look like complete fucking cancer, unlike Ashika's castle, for example. And the ones that do look like cancer, such as the floating district or the stadium to a lesser extent, are pretty far from mid. So if you want to not, or castle, if you want to not play in those areas, you don't really have to most of the time. So overall, I'm very, very pleased, and I'm very much looking forward to playing this. Mainly because I think the canals are going to be less of an issue than I originally thought.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out. But
looks really cool.
That is the blog post. There you go. So, yeah, what do we have next here? If you haven't heard already, it's Smooth Sack Summer. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're scaped from pubes to bum. That's right, this is the summer to keep your balls cool while still looking hot with Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming are making sure we all have a ball this summer by giving our pants partners everything they need to stay fresh. Dive headfirst into Smooth Sack Summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with our code DROPSHOT. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. They've built the ultimate grooming bundle for your summer grooming. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor. A new multifunction on-off switch can engage a travel lock and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof as well? Beach, lake, shower, this razor will devour even the strongest pubes. Now that you have the perfect haircut, use Manscaped's liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest summer barbecues. Most importantly, use the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant to stay cool in the heat. With a soothing aloe vera formula, it's the best in the business for the below-the-waist freshness. And this clear, drying formula will keep looking good while smelling good. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers, which are a big favorite of ours, and the Shed Travel Bag. Wearing sandals with some disgusting toenails during the summer months? Stop! Take a look at the Shears 2.0, a luxury nail grooming kit. The kit includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. With the performance package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure to cover the rest with the Shears 2.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. It is smooth sack summer, boys. Get it on board or get left behind. This is a little picture. I'm going to pull this up for our listeners here.
Yeah, I wanted to show this here when we're talking about it. Here is what the fog can look like. This is from Nixta's video.
Is this in Warzone?
This is when they were playing one of the new modes. I don't remember what it's called, where it's like similar to Hardpoint essentially, or something like that. So it's like a Hardpoint Plunder type mode.
In other words, yeah. Okay.
No, so this would be considered Warzone weather. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
He thought this was like the worst it can get, I guess. But this is... I mean, if a guy came out of a door in front of him right there at like 20 meters away, you wouldn't even know the door open. That's how foggy it is. It is fucking terrible. So if it's this bad and you get this 1 out of every 10 games, I'm furious about that. So yeah, please just remove this. Maybe if this is happening often enough and people are getting mad, I can see them just like reverting it and only putting it in DMZ. Because yeah, no one wants this shit. This is the last type of weather anyone wants in a first-person shooter video game.
Yeah, it's actually the worst type of weather system, actually. Yeah. So that's, there's a little screenshot.
Yeah, that's pretty fun and exciting. And then that's it for the Vondel stuff.
Yeah, that is it for the Vondel stuff. So next here, we have a little image of the Black Cell Operator Bundle. Here's what you get for it. Now, once again, as a reminder, this is 30 United States dollars. You can't buy it with COD points. And if you do buy it, you also owe us $30 with a $5 accruing interest every week that you don't pay us. So you get the Operator skin. You get 6 of them, I guess. You get 6 weapon blueprints, 2 vehicle skins. You get a finishing move, a weapon blueprint, some COD points, and 20 tier skips. And for the first time ever in Warzone history, you get a parachute skin. New parachute and contrails. Oh, okay. So you know when you're diving, there's like a red trail behind you?
Yep.
If you're a black cell fuck, it's probably like a golden sparkle trail or whatever. Or maybe it's just a bunch of dollars. A bunch of cash floating around behind you. I like that because that means that's the only person I'm shooting. If I'm mid gunfight, someone's 5 meters in front of me and I see black cell contrails floating around somewhere, I'm done fighting this guy. I'm shooting at you, pig. Now. Yeah. So that's very
I'm hot dropping on Black Cell parachute owners because I know they're not going to be good. Yeah, because the only people buying bundles are absolute shitters who want to spend money on the game. Yeah,
true.
That's what I've honestly noticed playing randoms. The super sweats don't buy the bundles; they use like the default operators. Yeah, and then it's always the really bad players that have an open mic the whole time with 8 kids yelling in the background and screaming, and their wife telling them to get off the video game and help them with chores, and they have every bundle in the world. Yeah. So that's who I'm hot dropping on because I know they're a guaranteed half a KD at the highest. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I guess that's the first time I've ever seen parachute skins. Now, I don't remember where I was talking about this. I don't think it was the pod. It was either when I was playing with you and Jake, or one time when I was playing with L, or one time when I was playing with Jake. And I don't know, but I mentioned it in a game, I think, like a month ago. I was like, I'm surprised they haven't done parachute skins yet. It would be such an easy way to make money. Fortnite did it, and they made a ton of money that way. Granted, Fortnite, though, it's like all third person, so you see the parachute always pretty much. Or your glide, or whatever the fuck they call it. But yeah, I'm very, very surprised it took them this long to make an actual parachute skin. And you will see these going forward, I'm sure. In just like normal bundles, they'll start selling them.
Yeah. Which, I mean... I think, I don't know, it's cool, I guess, but who gives a fuck? Who's going to see your parachute? Like, the contrails is way better than the parachute. Like, you have to be above someone parachuting to see their parachute skin. Like, you're not even going to see it yourself unless you do the free look shit. Well, you're going to see
that it's all black. That's the only difference, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, I'd still rather have a parachute than a sticker, an emblem.
That's true. That's
a really bad calling card. Like, if I'm going to buy anything from the store, a parachute skin is would be one of, I mean, honestly, they're more valuable than weapon skins since you have to use their shit blueprint if you want it to actually look like that, and the blueprints are always terrible and on dog shit guns. So
yeah. So anyway,
cool, good for them. They need the money, so that's good.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, moving on. Now, some more things. We have I think we talk about the JGod video first.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so let's do that. So so next topic here is a JGod video. This will be linked in the show notes / description if you want to watch it yourself. JGod did an early Vondel playtest, which evidently quite a few content creators were invited to do.
There were like 30 or 40 that played, yeah.
And JGod had some additional observations for us on Vondel. Tell us about it.
So he talked about some different things. One of them, he kind of talked about the movement speeds. He seems to think, so again, I don't think they're really aware of what build they're playing, like how old it is. But so basically, he thinks there are going to be less penalties for movement in Season 4. So we're not seeing like another movement increase or anything. Or they're not going to claim anything like that, but it's probably going to be like in Season 3 when they're like, oh, using extended mags, your ADS penalty has been decreased by like 30%. So you don't move as slow, you don't ADS as slow, you don't ADS walk as slow, all of that. So he believes they are going to change some things like that. So less dramatic, sprinting ADS walking speed penalties on a lot of attachments. So that would be good. And that made a big difference when it came to like optics and stuff too. We talked about that a lot in Season 3, how although they didn't like do any like base movement speeds or sprint speed, it feels a lot better than the game did when it launched for sure. Like it's very noticeable now at this point because you can build out your guns and it's not as slow of ADS speeds as we used to have. So that's cool.
That's really cool if that's true. Yeah, which I wouldn't be surprised by.
He also mentioned gun tuning had some changes. Now, I'm not sure if they're actual changes or they're just wording things differently, but he says it'll say things like horizontal recoil control and vertical recoil control now instead of like recoil steadiness or gun kit control like they had been saying.
Yeah.
So, hey, I mean, great. Every weapon should say that from the start to not confuse people. Vertical recoil control, horizontal recoil control. Yeah.
It's crazy that was ever a thing, even in 19, where they added like recoil steadiness versus like recoil control. It's like, why are we complicating this? Just make it say what it does.
Yeah.
So,
yep, exactly.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I'll take that.
He also went on to say he does not expect too many actual weapon balancing changes. For a reason we'll talk about in a second. They're changing the health in the game. So he doesn't think too many individual guns are actually going to be touched. If anything, it's going to be, like I said, blanket buffs to like using certain attachments. Like you maybe no ADS penalty on optics now, like red dots or something. Who knows? Something like that.
Yeah.
He talked about the buildings, how they will have 4 or 5 floors, but the middle ones are just a staircase, what I already talked about. So when he talked about the fog, this is what's interesting. He said he hardly even noticed a difference when his match had random fog in it.
Interesting.
Which is weird because Nixta was also at the same event and played in the same matches, and I took that screenshot of how bad the fog was. So I don't know. That maybe does go to show you. I don't remember if they said the fog was dynamic inside of the match. Do you remember? Like, could it start not bad and then get worse, or maybe certain areas of the map are worse than others? I thought it was just random, like you loaded in, it was either going to be a little bit foggy or super foggy. But so maybe that is the case too. Maybe it changes, and even from POI to POI, maybe certain areas are foggier. So that's something to look out for. Because he didn't think it was that big of a deal, but judging from the screenshots I took, it looks terrible.
Any fog is bad, and I hope it's just
any fog is bad,
as they talked about. Yeah. So, yeah.
And then last thing here, he talked about the close range time to kill. He thinks with the added health we're going to get, the close range time to kill will fall in close to where it was at Warzone 1's end of life. So the time to kill you had with the Blixen, essentially, or the Marco at the end of Warzone 1 is similar to what kind of close range time to kill we'll end up having in this game with the added health.
Which is still fast enough, by the way, for those of you who don't remember.
It's not the close range I'd be worried about. It's literally just the long range, yeah.
Yeah. So Okay.
And then one more thing I noticed before we get to the actual, we'll talk about the health more. This is from a video from Korean Savage. I was watching his gameplay on it, and I took the screenshot when he was downed. Now, if you zoom in, when he has two guys on his screen when he's down, something pops up like in the middle of his screen, and it says in red writing, outnumbered 2 attackers. And there were 2 enemy players on his screen in front of him. So I have no idea what that is about. I didn't hear anyone mention it. I don't know if there are a bunch of little changes coming like that. I don't see the reasoning. It didn't show up when he wasn't downed. I don't know what purpose this would serve or what the fuck it means.
Could this be the vengeance mechanic?
What was the vengeance mechanic?
Well, it was when you got fooled, as far as I recall. But if someone fools your teammate...
how it showed the direction.
Yeah. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's related somehow. But
I have no idea.
They didn't say that, so yeah.
It's very weird that no one talked about that. So maybe it just essentially means nothing. I don't know.
Luckily,
but yeah, I thought that was interesting.
It's not directly where my reticle is, which is where I would expect them to put a new UI element. So that's good, if anything. But yeah,
well, it's directly to the right of it. Yeah. So if you're ADSing and someone's to the right, you're not going to see him. But I think it is just if you're down, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they added this. Maybe we'll learn more when we get the patch notes. But
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we'll talk probably about that on Saturday, if so.
Yeah. So, moving on to a very big, this is a leak, right? There was no official, yeah, okay. So we tweeted about this. Insider Gaming IG on Twitter, all one word, which is of course the Twitter account for our friend and renowned, reputable, respectable leaker, one of the only ones, Thomas J. Henderson, friend of the pod, who's been on this podcast, by the way. Insider Gaming wrote an article today in which he stated, or one of his authors, he signed off on, because it's his website, a leak of some new changes we're getting in Warzone Season 4 in 2 days. And I haven't read the whole article yet, but this is what everyone's talking about on the TL. 3 very big changes coming to Warzone in Season 4, according to not a leaker, but Tom Henderson, the leaker. So these, I believe, are coming. They are as follows.
Oh, it's not a leak. The guys talked about it that play tested it, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They all talked about it, actually.
So this is confirmed then.
He just wrote an article about it, yeah.
Got it, okay. So, first, we've already hinted at. The base health in Warzone is going from 100 to 150, making total player health on a fully plated person 300 now, up from 250. For those of you who played Caldera, you may remember they did the same thing. Sometime during Vanguard Royale, when that was a thing, they tested the increased health there, and then they moved it to regular Warzone as well. They are also evidently doing that for Warzone 2. The base health is going from 100 to 150. This is why the close range TTK will now feel, according to JGod, similar to Warzone 1, because the health totals are the same now. That is number 1. Number 2, another big one. AI, everywhere except for inside of black sites, has been removed. There is no longer AI in Warzone except for inside of a black site. There's still juggernauts and shit. And then to complement that, strongholds are now available immediately. That is a lot of change. All 3 of these things are substantial. The latter 2 are related, of course, but either way, these are 3 big assed changes coming to Season 4. Let's take them as we got them. Base health from 100 to 150. Is this a good thing? Well, what you guys need to remember, back when this was changed in Caldera during Warzone 1, Tanner and I were very happy about this change because the effective time to kill in Caldera was entirely too fast, up close, and at long range. But the reason for that is because long range ARs in Warzone 1 had no recoil. you put on your monolithic suppressor and your fucking commando foregrip and your long barrel, and or you put on the I forget what it was called, but
the 10 attachments on Caldera. There
was a change even in Verdansk when Cold War came out, where to make the Cold War guns decent, they just gave the like wrapped suppressor plus 25% recoil control, and then the guns went from being like unusable dog shit to being completely meta. In other words, all of that is to say, in Warzone 1, when they increased the health total, we liked that because the guns had no recoil and no one was missing shots ever. But that's not going to be what we need in Warzone 2. Because in Warzone 2, you miss bullets because the guns actually have recoil. That's a good thing. We want the guns to have recoil. And we want the time to kill up close to be slower than it is now. But the increasing health is not the way to do that, because as Tanner pointed out months ago, while that will help with close range gunfights, it's going to ruin mid-range and long-range gunfights. Because it already takes quite a bit of time, because you're going to miss quite a bit of shots, killing people far away in Warzone 2 with 250 health. Now that it's going to be 300, it is going to be a real chore killing anyone at long range. I think this is going to introduce two little shifts in how people play the game. Number one, sniping might be back on the table. Because if you can still one-shot headshot and now the time to kill is impossible level at mid-range and long range, that makes sniping a lot more attractive. Number two, because if you could still one-shot kill them. Number two, this is going to really discourage long-range gunfighting at all, because you're not going to get the kill anyway. It's going to take too long. You're going to miss too many shots. Everyone's going to be running at each other, and there's going to be a ton of close-range gunfighting. That's the only way you're going to be able to reliably get kills. Overall, I don't like it. I don't think this is good. I think the long-range time to kill right now is perfect. I don't think it needs to be changed at all. And now it's just going to be cumbersome. And close range gunfights might be slightly more palatable, but this was not the change we needed to see when the problem wasn't with TTK. The problem was with specifically close range TTK. So I think this is a mistake for the reasons Tanner called 2 or 3 months ago. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, and people also have to realize that they're thinking, again, the time to kill's fast right now. It's literally just one gun, like in rank that everyone now uses, the Cronin. The Cronin actually kills like 200 or 300 milliseconds faster. So that Hemlock that I already consider literally unusable on definitely a small map like a Sheikah, that's going to be like 1200 millisecond time to kill. I mean, you're healing people at long range. You're just not going to be able to kill anything. So if the Cronin gets a pretty heavy nerf, I'm sure it'll be nerfed again. And this health increase, I don't know. So like right now, according to True Game data, at 50 meters, the Cronin, this is with just chest shots. You're killing around like under 800 milliseconds. That's, you'll probably mix in a headshot. It'll be a little bit faster than that. So if you're talking 300 health, that's going to be like 930 milliseconds. If you're hitting all chest shots with a Cronin, which isn't even that easy to control, and everyone uses red dots pretty much. Yeah. So it's like you're not able to zoom in a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, I also don't think it's a good change. I think everyone doesn't really think about it. They're just like, zero brain cell, I want more health, and they don't think of the consequences of it. So I don't know. I mean, there's some people that have been outspoken about it. Metaphor is one of them. I brought up last time. He already tweeted about it today. He's like, cool, keyboard and mouse players just got nerfed even harder. He's like, this is good for literally no keyboard and mouse player. The only time it balances out is if you're going up against another K-BAM player. He said, if you're in a one-on-one against a controller player, you literally, everything just got worse for you. And that's what I had said last time, because I agree with him in general. And I think players just wanting extra health, I don't think it was necessary. I think it was just they needed to balance the close range time to kill on some guns more, and maybe nerf the Cronin some more, because it is still a lot better than every other full auto gun, like I said. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll end up being fine, but I'm not too happy with it, and I'm not as optimistic as a lot of these guys are that just simply want extra health and don't put any thought into it in general.
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree. I will say with the I will add this caveat. I could be wrong, and maybe the game will play,
maybe it'll be okay.
Maybe it will be okay. Like, actually, I hope know.
It will be.
But on paper, it sounds like it's gonna be worse for the game than better. I think this is gonna be a net negative change. I'm not super confident in that, but if I had to guess, this is gonna be a net negative. It's gonna really harm. On Moz especially, this is gonna be noticeable and like bad, I think. But I could be wrong. I don't know. We will, of course, see.
Yeah, I was right on the ISO, by the way. 60 meters. Right now, it's about a 1 second time to kill, 1,000 milliseconds. With the added health, it's going to be around 1,200. And again, this is with no weapon balancing. They're for sure going to touch some guns. It just depends. It's up to which guns they touch. So
right.
I don't know if the Cronin is still as difficult to control as it is and has an even slower time to kill with weapon balancing, and then also we get 50 extra health. I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too fun.
Yeah.
Especially with all the shit visual recoil and everything else in this game.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's going to be something. So we could be wrong. We'll see. But, brush up on your close range skills. Hey, my takeaway from this is, God damn it, I hope that shotgun's good that they're going to add. That's what I want to see, baby.
Yeah, right.
Because then I'm, whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll just run 2 shotguns. That's what I'll do. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
And then, of course, AI being removed. Cool. I mean,
I'm surprised.
Actually expected this in Season 2. And I am surprised they ended up doing it now. Because it's so late.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That you had 0 good feedback from anyone. I mean, days after the game launched, and you didn't just remove it in Season 2. I don't know. So, way too late on this. Obviously, should have been done. It's a great change, but Infinity Ward waiting way too late as usual. And then the strongholds available immediately. I have no idea how that's going to work out. I don't know what you're going to have to do to get your loadout. Other teams can then recapture them. Whoever has it captured at the time will get a UAV sweep. They'll hold that UAV sweep until someone else captures it. So I don't know if it's... I'm thinking maybe they'll just make you do like a long defusal. What do you think? Like maybe you have to defuse for like 30 seconds or something, 45 seconds.
I don't know,
or just
dude.
like hold a room and it's like a hard point type thing, like hold it for this long. But there will be no AI fighting you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I wouldn't be surprised if they just... Because it already does take really long to capture a stronghold. It's not like the AI is like making it take that much longer, if at all. So I think they'll probably, at least for launch of Season 4, just keep it how it is now. And there just won't be AI around. What I find very interesting about strongholds available immediately is you've just created insane hotspots at the beginning of every single match. Because if you can do a stronghold right away, you can get loadout right away, you can get boxes, you can get tempered vests, self-reses, kill streaks, cash right away. All you have to do is land on one of the 3 immediately available strongholds and take it. So those are going to be super hot every single game of Warzone, without question, without exception.
Yeah,
that's going to be
I'm not
pretty
sure they
interesting.
needed to make that change.
That's going to be
about that.
interesting. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to play. I don't know how that's going to play. I mean, yeah, it may actually be necessarily. I like creating hot drops.
Well, it may be if it's too hot, because if you have like 3 to 5 strongholds open immediately and like actually 75% of the lobby tries to land on those, you're going to have a dead lobby 4 minutes into the game.
True.
Which will then lead to a super boring mid game, which Moz already struggles with.
True.
So I don't know. I don't know if this change is good, but it's hard to say until we actually play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's just such a massive...
Especially for ranked, by the way.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I wasn't even actually thinking
It's just such a massive
ranked.
advantage to get a stronghold done first, especially right in the middle of the match or beginning of the match. You don't have to buy one now. Like, holy fuck. You could buy all that money you were going to spend on a Lodi. You can instead spend on an advanced UAV right away. Like, it's going to be insane capturing a stronghold first, right off rip. So they're always going to be hot. But because they're always going to be so hot, people are going to know it's a huge gamble going to a stronghold, because it's going to be a fight. And if you die, then that's really bad, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think in ranked, actually, it probably would end up balancing out. They'll probably be really hot to begin with. And then people will realize, like, you know what? Everyone else is landing there. I'm going to start landing at another POI and be uncontested, so I can just buy my loadout early as well. And then I'll have my loadout. I won't have to risk dying early. So maybe it'll balance out. For sure, like the first week or so, though, I think strongholds will be super, super hot.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Once these guys are at a minus 150 SR cost just to get in the match, I don't think they'll be hot dropping and risking losing all that in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
But I mean,
pretty bold
basically
changes.
I didn't expect any of this. Yeah. I expected this 2 seasons ago, last season, and then I just gave up hope in season 3. So I'm very surprised these are coming back.
I agree.
These changes are coming.
Like we've talked about, we expected it either earlier or not at all. Yeah. I mean, kudos to them for taking bold, aggressive action. They need to. I just wish they had done it sooner, obviously. But the AI in the stronghold, the AI change is the best one. It's unambiguously good. Very curious to see how the strongholds and the health change play out, though. So we'll keep you guys posted on that, of course. So anyway, moving on.
Yep. Moving on to kind of some drama has been going on the TL. So again, people played Vondel early a week and a half ago or so. Charlie Intel's been, let's just say, very critical of the game lately. He's pretty much the one that leaked Vondel. I don't know however long that was. I guess that was about a week ago.
Yeah, a little more than a week, I think.
Yeah, so he leaked it. He's been fed up. He's been calling out Infinity Ward, this and that, saying how they've killed COD this year. They've killed all the hype around the game because all their port changes, blah, blah. He doesn't actually think any of that. He doesn't play the game, so he doesn't really know. He just bases off of what other people say, of course. But anyways, so some drama with him. He was not invited to play Vondel early. Whoa. And he said he's not talking about it much beyond that. He said, but for clarity and transparency, I was not invited to recent events because of being critical of the game in the studio. No hard feelings. We move forward and continue to work to deliver the best COD news. So he's been running Charlie Intel for, God, I don't know, 8 years, 10 years.
Time.
Has always been extremely involved. And because he's been critical this year, I guess I didn't invite him to the game. So that's pretty crazy. This was held at Infinity Ward Studio, so that makes sense. I feel like if this was like tested at Raven, he would have been invited because they do have play tests at Raven. This one happened to be at iDub Studio. So I feel like that's it. I feel like iDub's like pissed at him and they're like, no, we're not inviting him over here because they're cocksuckers.
Yeah, I'm curious why he thinks he was not invited because he's been critical. Like, do you think someone said that to him, or he just didn't get an invite in the mail and he's assuming that's the reason?
I'm thinking he just didn't get an invite, yeah, if I'm being honest.
Which is a fair assumption, by the way.
I feel like they're not telling him, no, we don't like what you've said about us, so you're not invited.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't say that, right? Yeah.
They'd beat around the bush, if anything.
Yeah, so, by the way, guys, this is, I mean, not surprising at all, and this is exactly what we talk about when we bash content creators for sucking off Activision on the timeline. This is why they're doing it. Because if they don't, this is what happens. Charlie Intel, who makes their money off of Call of Duty news, by the way, was deprived of some Call of Duty information because they were critical of the game. So, Activision doesn't pay Joe to say nice things. Well, they kind of do, though, because if Joe gets to play Vondel early, he's allowed to, if he was Charlie Intel's owner, for example, write articles about how Vondel's going to play or how it feels or changes that are coming before he otherwise could. And that would directly translate to more dollars in your pocket. And this is like just one opportunity. There are so many opportunities like this that while it's not literally Activision cutting you a check for saying nice things about them, it is Activision giving you the opportunity to make buckets loads of cash that you are depriving yourself of if you're being negative. So I'll say this. Kudos to Kashav for being critical, knowing that this could happen. Sucks that it did happen, but it is woefully unsurprising to me. And this is exactly why he did not get invited, for sure. You don't get invited to every COD event in the last 5 years, and then the invite suddenly stopped coming, and it's just a coincidence that you've also been critical of the game when the invite stopped coming. That's of course why it happened. And this is exactly why these content creators suck off Activision.
Yes. And this is why they aren't truthful in times when maybe they otherwise have a negative thought. They simply won't say that thought because they want to continue to be invited to these events because they make cash off of it. They get videos out there, they make TikToks, and they make a lot of cash from that. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you see all these early gameplay videos of people talking about how fun it is. I mean, what can they say? If they hated it, are they really going to say it was fucking terrible? Exactly, I hated the map, the water sucked, this and that. The frame rate, the performance was awful. The fog fucking was a terrible addition to the game. No, they're going to say only the positive things they have to say and then hide any negative thoughts they have because they want to continue to be invited. Yeah. And that's why those type of people get invited to events because they're just, you know, they're clout chasers and they want the views from it, and they just lie to people, essentially. Yeah.
Well, that's a little extreme. Some of them do.
Well, they do. Many of them do. Yeah.
But some of them just refrain from saying bad things. And let me remind you again, if you are one of those people who would say something negative and you choose not to because you want to keep getting invited to events, good for you, and I don't blame you. And I might do the same thing if I weren't a podcaster, of course. But I don't blame you. But if you're then also going to say, don't call me an Activision shill, I'm not selling out, Activision doesn't pay us to say nice things, why do you think that? Now I have a problem with you. So if you want to shut up with your criticism, go ahead, get the bag, as they say. Good for you. That's fine. Don't do that and then also get mad when people call you an Activision suck up. Because that is what you're doing. And when you disingenuously say, Activision doesn't pay me to say nice things. Well, no, they don't, but they give you all these other incentives, and that's why you're doing this. So it's okay to do those things, but don't lie about why you're doing them. That's where I have an issue. I don't have an issue with you not being critical because you want to keep getting invited to events. If I was just some streamer who just plays all day, I would do the same shit. I don't blame you. But don't pretend that that's not what you're doing is my point. So anyway.
Yeah.
What do we got next here, buddy?
Moving on, we had a lot of drama yesterday. Didn't know exactly what was happening. There were a bunch of cryptic tweets from people that are usually at creator call or on creator calls at COD events, and some from Activision umbrella employees. So one of them started with, I saw some tweets from her name is Shanice. I don't know. I think it's Shanice. She's the person that talks to all the content creators and invites them to events, essentially, and mails out the mailers for Call of Duty and is like, and you know, in charge of that type of stuff. It's not marketing. What is that called? Like, I guess
outreach,
like content relations, essentially, something like that.
Yeah, client
relations. I can't think of it. Yeah, I can't think of the name. She has a title. But anyways, she tweeted out something that said, leakers ruin it for all. And then she said, I'm very tired, like all systems are on zero. This is disappointing. Another girl, her name is Songbird GG. I don't know who exactly she works for. I don't know if it's Infinity Ward, Raven, or Activision themselves, I'm not sure. But she said, really damn disappointed. I'm going to go off later. And then a guy, Marksman, who's a streamer, goes to a lot of events, is on creator calls. He said, just remember, the few always ruin it for the many. So yesterday, Raz and I were talking about this, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is weird. There were many more tweets. I deleted some of them because now we have an answer as to why they were talking about it. But so Marksman later on said that a little cryptic, but the context is that creators had a call about season 4 and we wanted to share some cool changes with you, but someone was leaking it and it got canceled. Someone wanted their 5 minutes of clout. So one of these people they had been inviting on a creator call was leaking information, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what this means about, and we wanted to share some cool changes with you, but someone was leaking it and it got canceled and got it canceled. So I don't know if like there was going to be some announcement that creators were involved in and they were going to be able to release info early and be like, yo, this is happening, just got off a creator call. Maybe they canceled that. The other thing is maybe there was some sort of change and then someone leaked it and then they're like, you know what? We're delaying this for reasons. The 10% movement speed is not coming this season, something like that. Probably not likely. But I don't know. That could mean a lot of different things. But the TLDR there is that someone on the creator call was leaking information they received early.
What is the leaked information is what I want to know. Because wouldn't we see if it got leaked?
Exactly. I never saw any leaked information. That's what I'm talking about too. Because I was so confused when I started seeing this. I'm like I was searching Twitter even for like COD leaks. I was looking at all the normal leaking Twitter accounts I follow.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure anything out. I had no idea what they were talking about. So I don't know what actually got leaked.
I wonder if it's just the health changes and shit.
No, because this was all before that, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the thing that got canceled must be, I guess, like, okay, so some piece of information was given on the call to these creators, and then Activision was like, don't talk about it yet, but you guys will be allowed to talk about it on Wednesday. And then someone leaked it before Wednesday, and then Activision said, okay, never mind, you're not allowed to talk about it on Wednesday. But whatever it is probably still coming to the game. I think the only thing that could have gotten canceled was the creators being allowed to announce the change. Because it seems crazy to me that, let's say, for example, in season 4, we were going to get 10% faster movement speed. And then someone leaked that. And then Activision said, never mind, we're not changing the movement speed anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense,
right? That seems insane, right? So it must be what got canceled was just the announcement. So the game itself isn't going to change, nor will the timetable on it as a result of this leaker. But our knowledge of whatever that information is, I guess, is now going to be delayed. But
okay, so
why would you even cancel that? Would be weird. Like,
yeah,
if it
so
got
someone
leaked, why don't let the creators announce it anyway? I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing is very weird. So someone did actually comment back to Marksman and they said, did the changes get canceled or the opportunity for you to share those changes was canceled? And then all he said was, nah, they wouldn't cancel them.
Okay, so it's just the announcement then.
So it sounds like, there was supposed to be some announcement that content creators were probably involved with, or they got to release early, and that was canceled. Yeah. So maybe there's some other crazy big things coming in season 4, like unsurprising changes that no one was able to talk about on their videos.
Yeah. So
because of something like this
videos or some shit.
I wonder.
That would piss them off. Yeah.
Cause like I know in Korean Savage's video, his intro, he recorded yesterday because he talked about like the updates going live tomorrow. I played this like a week and a half ago, blah, blah. So he did just record it yesterday, but yeah, I don't know. Just something to think about. So I wonder what that's going to be.
Yeah. So Tanner and I were also speculating this might be the end of like creator calls, or if they keep doing them. If they keep doing them, we might just get way less info than we used to from the creator calls, because there are leaks now. And while that would be kind of unfortunate, wouldn't actually matter much materially, because whether we know they're going to change the TTK on season 4's release or beforehand, or we don't know that it'll change beforehand, the change is going to happen either way. So ultimately that wouldn't be that big of a deal. The one thing that could be a big deal though is that if they start sharing less info on these creator calls, that means they are effectively getting less feedback from people who actually play the game before making a change to the game. So they might come up with an insane idea that they shouldn't change, and before they would have shared it and then been told that's a bad idea by content creators, and now they won't. That is the only real potential downside I can see. If that's even going to happen, if they're even going to start or stop doing creator calls or stop sharing as much. But I don't know. Yeah. This is all speculation. So it's very hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, leakers ruining it for people, not surprising. I really do wonder whatever the piece of information was, though. I feel like it must be the health and the AI shit. You know what it probably was? It was probably the strongholds in AI, because they playtested Vondel, so they wouldn't have been able to hide the 150 health, but they would have been able to hide that there's no AI on Moz anymore since they didn't play Moz. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the change. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Because otherwise we would have seen the leak by now, right? Because all these content creators talking about it, like, how would we not have seen the leak? I don't know. Whatever it is, we'll learn eventually. As Marksman said, they're not going to cancel the change itself. So if there's nothing else crazy in season 4, then we'll know that it was one of those things. But either way,
maybe they told them Verdansk was coming back in season 5.
Yeah,
bring back Verdansk.
Anyway, let's move on before we speak that into existence.
And moving on, I guess we haven't. This is so old now; it feels so old, but I guess we haven't actually covered it really. I think we kind of talked about it Saturday, but so last week Charlie Intel tweeted this. It appears Activision has removed the NickMercs bundle from the store and MW2 store this evening. Activision has not commented why it isn't removed, but the removal of this bundle comes a day after NickMercs' recent comments about the LGBT plus community. Basically, Nick commented publicly on some tweet that was like gay rights protesters fighting with like non-gay rights protesters, I guess you could say, at like a school about what they were going to teach in the curriculum or something. And Nick comments, "Leave the children alone."
Leave the little children alone.
Leave the little children alone, yeah. So Call of Duty responded to Charlie Intel's tweet, actually. They never publicly made an announcement, by the way. They simply responded to Charlie Intel's tweet, weird, and they said this.
I thought this was weird, too.
Due to recent events, we have removed the NickMercs operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community. So this got a lot of feedback. Yeah, this was this was going bonkers on Twitter.
Wild.
All the super right-wing Twitter accounts were picking this up. Cancel Activision, cancel Call of Duty. Ben Shapiro uninstalled COD. He's done playing Warzone. Et cetera. Yeah. So this was going real bonkers. So then a couple days later, people were like, "Oh, what?" Like, I guess people were questioning Tim and like calling him out. I never personally saw that, but anyways, people were kind of wondering what was going to happen with that. So they removed the NickMercs skin. A couple days later, Tim tweets out, "NickMercs has been my friend for years. We went in getting our COD operators together. It feels wrong for me to have mine and him no longer have his. In support of my friend, please remove the Tim the Tatman bundle." And then he added Call of Duty. This went insane. I mean, at the time I took the screenshot 3 days ago, this tweet had 250,000 likes.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that is so much visibility. 25,000 retweets. So it went absolutely insane. And the next day, Activision supposedly issued a statement. Charlie Intel was the one that tweeted it first, so I don't know if they told him. I'm not sure, but they said, "At Tim's request, we have removed the Tim the Tatman operator bundle from the MW2 and Warzone store." So if you own those bundles, cool, you can't purchase them anymore, and you probably never again will be able to purchase those bundles. They've removed them entirely.
But you can still wear them, by the way.
You can still use them.
Refund, by the way.
Yes, so let's make that clear. Again, Raz and I were talking about this privately yesterday, and it's definitely just virtue signaling, because if they really stood by this and they were like, "Fuck Nick and what he said, Nick hates the gays, fuck this guy," we're deleting his operator skin from the game and refunding everyone. Are they doing that?
Of course
Of
not.
course not.
Yeah.
How many millions of dollars did they make off of Tim and Nick? No, they won't be deleting their skins. So they're just, it is just virtue signaling. And like, I think it was Chris that first pointed out in the Discord, he's like, they don't even lose anything because 95% of the people that bought these operator skins bought them the day they came out. No one is like just now going to the store and be like, oh, I think I'll buy the Tim skin.
Yeah. If
They
you were
made
gonna
all their
buy
money
it,
off of it.
They bought it already in the first day, for sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, they care, but they're not giving you their money back. So they really don't care. They just
Yeah.
want you to think they really care and they love the gays.
Yeah, there is a ton to say on this topic.
They do love the gays, but they don't. They like money more.
So yeah, basically, by the way, what happened was a little more context from what I remember. We were going to cover this last week, but the pod was running long, as is this one, but whatever.
Well, this info came out like at that night, so it was after the Thursday pod.
Yeah, we have more info now than we did at that time.
Yeah.
There was a tweet about a school district or a school board for a school in Glendale, California, which is where I was born, by the way. And let me tell you a little bit about Glendale. There is an extremely heavy Armenian population in Glendale. I lived there for the first 7 years of my life. It was true then, it's true now. And the Armenians are very religious people. Very religious people. Okay. And they're not super into all the gay stuff. They're not super into Pride Month.
They're not big into the gays, yeah.
It's not terribly surprising that they were a little upset about this. So evidently some school board wanted to talk about Pride because it was Pride Month at the elementary school or whatever. And I guess there was a protest by some community members of the school, and then there was a brawl. There were a bunch of people from one side of the issue fighting a bunch of people from the other side of the issue. Nothing crazy, no weapons, just like a bunch of old people throwing their old dusty ass hands. So there's a video of that. And then NickMercs commented on that video, which was tweeted by someone. And he said just leave the little children alone or whatever. So that tweet, by the way, is not super anti-gay or anything. He didn't say like, fuck gay people. He just said like, just leave the little children alone, which is a reasonable thing to think, I guess. I don't really know what he means by that. Just very quickly, okay, for if you want our opinion, if you're going to teach sex ed in school, you should probably also teach that gay people exist, because they do. That is my position. So I don't know what NickMercs meant by leave the little children alone. If he was saying we should teach our kids sex ed but leave out that gay people exist, I think that's dumb. If he was saying you shouldn't like promote gay people, I think it depends on what promoting means, and it's very complicated. I don't know. The point is, what NickMercs said, while I don't love it, it was not the crazy homophobic, transphobic thing that everyone on Twitter is making it out to be, or a lot of people are. He's not like a homophobe for saying that. He's not a transphobe for saying that. I don't agree with him, but he's not that was not a hateful thing to say. So anyways, yeah, this happened, and then Tanner kind of laid out the events. So first of all, let me remind you once again, as I've said many times, Activision doesn't care. About what, you might ask me? Anything. Activision has no principles, they have no morals, they have no positions, they have no stance, they have no scruples. There isn't a single issue on Earth that Activision cares about. Not one. The only thing Activision's interested in is getting buckets of cash into their company. That's all they care about. Like every company. This isn't unique to Activision. Okay. So Activision did not pull the skin because they support gay people. They pulled the skin because they thought that was going to make them the most money. By the way, they might be right, because guess what? If you sell a NickMercs operator skin, 90% of the people who are ever going to buy it have already bought it. by the time
Yeah.
you pulled the skin. So you have your cake and you eat it too. They didn't issue refunds. They didn't remove the skin from the game. Same thing with the NickMercs bundle, the Tim the Tatman bundle. They already made all the money they were going to make on that bundle, so they can have their cake and virtue signal too. That's what Activision did. Activision does not care about gay people, and they didn't pull the skin because they like gay people. They pulled the skin because they didn't want to be associated with all of the controversy that NickMercs was receiving for his statement. They pulled it only to get away from controversy. They didn't pull it to support gay people. Let me be clear. I don't think Activision hates gay people. I don't think they give a fuck either way. They only care about money. And this was what their calculus was. They were probably right. They had their cake and they ate it too. Brilliant move by Activision. But if they actually cared about gay people, like Tanner said, they would have removed the skin and refunded everyone who bought it. But of course they were never going to do that. Here's some more evidence of why of Activision not caring about anything. I want you guys right now to go on Google and search for Activision Saudi Arabia Twitter account. I want you to go onto that account, log into Google Translate, and tell me how many gay pride, pro-gay people, pro-lesbians, pro-trans people tweets you see on the Saudi Arabian Activision Twitter account. I can tell you, without having looked, you'll see zero. You'll see none. We talked about this last year. When last Pride Month last year, Activision made their profile picture all rainbow colored or whatever. Well, excuse me, the United States Activision Twitter profile. Guess what? They didn't change at all ever the Saudi Activision Twitter account because they don't care about gay people. If they did, they would have done it for all of their accounts, but they don't. They recognize, we'd probably lose some money if we supported.
They care about where it's popular, yeah.
They care about it where it makes them money, and they don't care about it where it would lose them money. So it's that simple. So don't be under the illusion that Activision is doing something like good or nice or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Should they have pulled the skin? I guess would be the last point. If you're surprised they pulled the skin, you're out of your mind. There was a ton of controversy. Any big company was going to do the same thing. That's not surprising at all. Did NickMercs say the worst thing in the world? No, but again, I don't blame Activision because they didn't pull the skin to support gay people. Not that they necessarily needed to. They pulled it because there was controversy. If no one cared about what Nick tweeted, they wouldn't have pulled the skin. So I think it's like really obvious that they were going to pull the skin. The NickMercs thing is where I think it gets a little interesting.
The Tim thing, you mean?
Or Tim the Tatman. I keep doing that. A lot of people are like, oh, Tim is such a real friend. He's such a real homie for doing that. Let me say again, Tim has already gotten his cake and eaten it. He's already made all the money he's going to make on that skin. So he is doing the same thing Activision is doing, which is virtue signaling after he's gotten all the money he was going to make.
Well, I don't think he doesn't get like paid per bundle sold.
We don't know how it works.
They probably just both got paid.
Yeah. So either way, he already got paid. So now you're allowed to just virtue signal. Now, let me be clear. I would do the same thing if I was Tim the Tatman, but it's not like he's losing anything by asking for his skin to be pulled. He's not. So it's like a cool move. I commend him for asking for his skin to be pulled in solidarity with his friend, but it's not like he fucking took a bullet for NickMercs, because he didn't. He lost nothing. All he did was gain support, actually. So it was a brilliant stroke. He got the bag, he got all his money, and now he looks like the best friend that any friend has ever friended, which is, it was a good thing he did, but everyone's sucking him off on Twitter. It's like, relax. He didn't like give up anything doing that. So I don't know. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nick later went on to tweet out, friends are created in good times, families are built through adversity. Cringe. Don't say that. Appreciate
There's
all
no
of you have my back.
doing this, by the way. Yeah,
understand my position as a new father and recognize all the love I have for all. Ain't no hate in this heart. P&L, which is his peace and love. Cringe. But anyways, so the thing there is he did not apologize and wasn't like, oh, my bad for saying this. He did talk about it on live stream a little bit,
Never apologized. No,
he never apologized though. So a lot of people
Which
are
is
like,
smart.
"Oh, good for him for standing his ground and like not apologizing for it or whatever." So
you can only get canceled if you consent to it. Yeah.
yeah, and
If
needless
you
to
just
say,
keep streaming, you're good.
he will never stream Warzone 2 again, or probably even if there's a new Warzone in like a year or two. I don't know if he ever plays an Activision game again, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I'm not sure. So hopefully Apex turns their rank system around so he can play that again. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I don't think Nick loves gay people, to be honest.
He for sure doesn't love the gays, no.
But I don't think that merely because of his tweet. I think that because of the videos he made, the little clips where he's talking about gay people. I just get the sense, I get the vibe that he's not super on board with the Pride Month or just gay shit in general. Now, I don't think he should be canceled or anything, but just if you guys want my opinion on NickMercs, I don't think he's the most tolerant person on earth or whatever. In other words, I think if his son was gay, he would be very unhappy about it. Put it that way. So if you just want my personal opinion on the matter, but what he said was not like homophobic though. No, I think in other words, I think he is probably homophobic, but the tweet he made or the comments he made afterward were not homophobic. He hasn't said anything homophobic recently, but I think he is homophobic. That's my position. So just in case.
And then
you guys
also
wanted
someone
to know.
else had found a tweet he made a few days ago about DeSantis. Is that how you say his last name, right?
DeSantis.
And then everyone was like retweeting it and they're like, oh my gosh, he's a DeSantis supporter too. I guess people are just now finding out he's like a Republican streamer, which I guess isn't common. I don't know. People were losing their mind about that too. I guess if you're not in, you're not in video games, you don't really see it. But it's like he had a whole thing at TwitchCon last year, 2021, where like they had the TwitchCon in San Diego and he was supposed to do a meet and greet, and he then decided to not go to TwitchCon and instead hold his own huge MFAM event like 2 blocks away from TwitchCon. Literally, it was because Twitch was mandating vaccines and masks, and he was like, we're not doing that shit. And he had his own event that was like, you didn't have to show proof of vaccination, you didn't have to wear a mask, blah, blah. So it's been super obvious if you're involved in the gaming scene and follow him at all that he's, a right-wing type of guy. But yeah, so I guess people on Twitter are finding out that right-wing video game players exist and they're not all trans gamers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny too. It's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all.
It's like people learn. Some people on the internet have different political opinions. I don't know. Like they actually like lose their mind over it. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you should be canceled. I mean, I don't know. Who cares? If you're conservative, like I'm totally fine with conservatism. I'm less fine with being homophobic. That's not good. But I don't know that he's homophobic. I just think he probably is. But he's never said anything homophobic that I've seen. So anyway, you know what else is funny about this, by the way? Call of Duty will never, ever, ever again have a operator bundle or skin for any content creator ever.
Yeah, of course.
Ever again. And that sucks for all the other big streamers. A lot. Like Swag, Dr. Disrespect. Wouldn't it be cool if they got a skin?
You may not
never
see this period going forward in video games. I saw some big Twitter account. It went fairly viral. I looked at the account. It was some girl who's like PR, like Riot Games or something too. She's like, this is going to be a case study for video game publishers going forward when they have the thought of putting content creator skins in their games. Like this may actually just never happen again.
You would have to be, I feel like you could put like a Pokemon operator skin in your game and that you're probably safe. She's like the most milquetoast on the pulse of all the social issues things ever. But unless you're squeaky
an operator
clean,
skin,
you're not getting a skin again. Yeah, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and then last thing here, real quick. This is kind of breaking news. There is a lot of World Series of Warzone roster changes happening. Most of them were bait the day it dropped, but now there are real roster changes beginning to happen. Shifty. I guess he's number 2 and Soka's number 1. I think. Is Shifty number 2 right now?
It's Shifty.
I think Shifty's number 2 in the world.
Get it.
Tim, Skullface, and Soka, they run a team. They won World Series of Warzone last year. They got 4th place in the World Series of Warzone event last week. They have broken up as a trio. So Shifty tweeted out a couple hours ago, need 2 for the upcoming Stage 2 quals. If any team needs 1 in Stage 2 regional finals, let me know. And this is, I guess, not bait, because there were a lot of other big World Series of Warzone players that were like tweeting on this, and obviously they're like, here, like the dominoes are starting to fall. I guess there's probably gonna be a bunch of roster changes happening with different players going to different teams. So
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is this person dramatic? How familiar are you with them?
Who, Shifty?
Yeah.
None of them seem dramatic at all.
Huh.
They all just play the game a shit ton. I don't know.
More COD dramas.
They all seem cool
baby.
with each other. They've played a lot together, so that'll be super interesting to see what happens there.
Especially since
because arguably that trio was maybe the most picked to like win the whole thing. Honestly,
yeah, it's weird that a team that stacked would break up.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see what teams end up forming with that. So we'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. The domino's starting to fall, because if one team picks them up, that means they dropped someone, and then it's a whole fucking game of musical chairs. Yeah,
I saw Ethan Stellar. I think he was with Bonk Q, however you say that guy's name.
Yeah,
and someone else, he got dropped.
Oh shit!
They qualified for next stage, so there's a lot of changes starting to happen. Yeah, and I think they have another week or 2 to finalize roster or something like that. So
yeah, so we'll keep you guys posted on that shit for sure, especially if it's dramatic, because that shit is funny. So anyway, all right, that's it. Way longer pod than we expected last week, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Reminder: Saturday, we're going to be talking about our season 4 first impressions. If you are a patron, Vondel Brainstorm is coming this week. We will be recording that after we've played the new map. That will be very fun and exciting. And if you want to listen to that episode, it's going to be a Patreon bonus episode. What if you're fucking poor? Patreon.com/thedropshot. Luckily for you, you poor piece of shit, get your bread up, has free trials for the month of June. So if you wanted to listen to that absolute Vondel Brainstorm, you could by going to patreon.com/thedropshot and joining. For 7 whole ass days, you can get a free trial of our gold and platinum or platinum tier Patreon memberships. Instant access to every single episode, including past ones, of course, of our bonus episodes of that tier. You also get early access to the public episodes. You get ad-free episodes. And more little treats and goodies. So you can check it out, patreon.com/thedropshot, only for the month of June. So if you wanted to try that free trial, do it this month, because it's going away next month. We will see you guys Saturday. Thank you. Love you. Stay humble.
Stay humble.